In a steel plant, one wrong step brings a worker directly into the path of molten metal. Inside a hot rolling mill, glowing steel moves along the conveyor, guided by heavy rollers. Workers oversee the process from both sides, ensuring the molten bar follows its path. As one worker adjusts his position near the conveyor, he steps too close to the molten line's travel path. The bar continues forward, breaching its safe clearance zone. Heat and motion trigger an emergency response as the system halts automatically. Within seconds, alarms sound and nearby staff secure the area. A near miss caused by one misplaced step. Never ever cross or lean into an active molten metal line. Distance and awareness keep every worker alive. In a feed factory in Buga, one tall stack collapses without warning. Workers move through narrow aisles lined with feed bags stacked high to the ceiling. The air is dusty, the space tight, every load balanced on habit more than structure. Two workers adjust pallets near the corner, unaware that one shift could bring everything down. A bag slips, shifting the balance. The stack leans, then tips forward, spilling feed sacks into the aisle. Dust fills the air as the crew steps back, watching the pile settle into stillness. Unsecured stacking is a hidden hazard. Workers must never, ever pile loads beyond stable height or without restraint. Every layer counts. Gravity waits for no one. One step too close to a running roller, disaster unfolds in seconds. Inside a factory floor, a massive calendar roller spins steadily, pressing sheet material through its drums. A worker in blue approaches with a tool, adjusting alignment while the roller keeps turning. As the worker leans closer, the tool brushes the spinning drum. The roller catches the edge of the material, pulling it inward. The system surges under tension, rotation building before the emergency stop is hit. Within seconds, motion gives way to silence, a stark reminder of how fast routine can turn risky. Never, ever reach or lean near moving rollers, belts, or drums, not even for a moment. Always lock out, tag out, and confirm zero motion before getting close to any rotating part. Inside a busy restaurant, one careless snip turns a ceiling job into a fireball of sparks. A worker in an orange shirt stands on a ladder, tools in hand, reaching into ceiling wiring above a dining area. Around him, customers and coworkers talk casually, unaware of the danger building above. No voltage tester or lockout tag is used, just assumption and routine. As the pliers close on the line, a flash bursts from the ceiling conduit. Sparks scatter, lighting the space in orange and white before the breakers trip. The sudden flare fills the room, then fades to silence. A reminder that one unchecked wire can change everything in seconds. Live energy doesn't wait for second chances. Every circuit must be verified, de-energized before cutting or handling. Use proper lockout and test procedures to ensure isolation and treat every wire as live until proven safe. At a workshop table, one careless moment with a still-powered tool leads to danger. Inside a small fabrication room, a worker operates a handheld grinder to smooth metal edges. Sparks scatter as he leans closer to the work surface. Focused on finishing quickly, he sets the grinder down for a moment, still plugged in and running. The grinder jerks suddenly, its spinning wheel catching the edge of the table before leaping upward. It spins briefly in midair, cord twisting as it hits the ground, and rattles to a stop. The startled worker steps back, realizing the danger of leaving a live tool unattended. Always disconnect power tools before setting them down. Never ever assume they'll stay still. A moment's convenience can cost you safety and control. Inside a maintenance warehouse, one wrong step toward the lift, and the floor vanishes. In a small industrial building, a freight elevator sits idle with its platform lowered deep below the surface. The open shaft blends in with the surroundings, looking like an ordinary doorway. A delivery driver in a yellow jacket approaches, carrying orders, focused on his routine. He walks forward, eyes ahead, expecting solid ground, but the surface isn't there. His foot finds open air and instinct pulls him back, just as the echo from below reveals what was missing. The lift platform, a quiet gap, invisible and waiting. Every open lift shaft must be blocked or clearly marked when not in use. A missing barrier can turn a normal doorway into a deadly trap. A single spark on a sealed drum, everything changes in an instant. Outside a small workshop, a worker prepares to cut open a metal drum. The barrel rests on its side, faded paint hinting at its previous use. Sunlight reflects off the steel surface as the worker lowers a grinder toward it, unaware of the danger sealed inside. No vent holes, no purging, just a drum and a spark waiting to meet. The grinder touches metal, friction sparking heat. A faint hiss escapes, followed by a flash that lights the workshop in an instant. The drum lifts slightly as pressure vents through the opening, scattering dust and smoke across the floor. In moments, the light fades, leaving silence where motion had just been. Never, ever cut or weld on a closed or unverified container. Residual vapors can ignite violently, even after years of storage. Always test, vent, and purge before applying heat, because what's empty might still hold danger. In a steel plant, one moment of imbalance sends a coil rolling out of control. On the mill floor, massive steel coils rest on cradles waiting to be loaded. Two workers position themselves close to the reel, guiding alignment manually. The coil sits tilted slightly off-center, stable for now, but its weight rests unevenly. One worker steps forward, adjusting tools near the cradle's edge. Without warning, the coil shifts. The balance breaks, and the massive roll begins to turn forward, its weight carrying momentum across the floor. Alarms sound as the crew steps back, watching the coil settle flat against the ground. A moment's imbalance turning stored energy into motion. Stored energy and imbalance are silent threats. Never, ever stand within a coil's roll path or adjust by hand without lock, block, and secure. Stability is protection. Always verify before approach. One slip of alignment, and a table saw kicks back with force. It's a bright afternoon in a quiet suburban driveway. A worker sets up a portable table saw, cutting plywood for a home project. The saw runs steadily as sunlight hits the yellow blade guard. The board is long, the setup tight, and his focus sharp but unguarded. In a blink, the plywood twists against the blade's rotation. The saw kicks back suddenly, sending the board upward with force. The operator reacts as the sound and motion hit together, a split-second reminder of how quickly stored energy releases when a cut binds. Kickback is the fastest danger on a table saw. Operators must never, ever cut without alignment, support, and a riving knife or splitter in place. Always stand to the side of the blade's line, because control means distance, not speed. In a metal finishing shop, one flash of dust ignition turns routine into chaos. Inside an alloy wheel workshop, workers move between polishing booths and racks of rims. Fine aluminum dust floats in the air, coating vents and floors. One operator restarts a machine without waiting for ventilation. The air shimmers with suspended particles, invisible, waiting for a spark. A spark jumps as the cycle begins. A flash glows from the cabinet. Heat ignites the suspended dust, spreading light and haze across the air. The system alarms trigger instantly, and workers step back as the haze thickens. In moments, a simple restart becomes a powerful reminder of how invisible risks can ignite. Combustible dust transforms the air into fuel when disturbed. Equipment must always start only after ventilation clears suspended particles. Even a small spark can trigger a chain reaction in confined spaces. Prevention starts with discipline. Clean the buildup, clear the air, and confirm extraction before pressing start. Safety lives in the pause between readiness and reaction. Don't forget to share what you learned today in the comments. Your insight could save a life. Take care.